Hi, kindergarten. So for today's Wit and Wisdom lesson, we are going to be looking at details and how you notice details that authors and illustrators use in different stories. So we're going to use the book Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, and I have some questions written on our board here. The first one says, what do you notice? And we're going to look at details and how an illustrator uses details when they're creating a story. So we're going to look at some of the things here. And we're going to look at some of the words and how they use interesting words to add details to their story. So a couple of things that we're going to look at are how the letters are used in the story, okay? So if you look at the first couple of pages in the story, the tree is really straight, okay? And the letters are starting to appear, the lowercase letters, and then they're going to start to go up the tree. And I noticed at the beginning the tree is really straight, but now it's starting to tilt a little bit. So the illustrator's using a detail in their drawings to show how the tree's starting to bend a little bit, okay? And there's some interesting words on here. It says an I and J and tag along K. So they use the word tag along K. I wonder if you know what tag along means. Tag along means to go after something, okay? So K is kind of tagging along the I and the J, and it's following it up the tree, okay? All right, and as we go through the story, you can see that the author is really starting to show the tree bend, and when it gets to the end of the alphabet, it's really bent. It's so bent over that the coconuts are actually falling off the tree, okay? And after it bends down, look at this page, it's completely bent over. The author showed all the letters and they all fell out and they're all scrambled together. You don't actually see the letters fall, but you can tell by the picture that they fell out of the tree. All right. Okay. Look closely at this picture. And then when you think about how the author showed the letters as adults and as kids, all right? They use the uppercase letters from the alphabet to be the grown-ups and the lowercase to be the kids. And they call them mamas, papas, uncles, and aunts, right? And they all came to help their kids who fell out of the tree, okay? And you can see that they're leaving the tree, and he showed them leaving the tree by putting them off to the side, different letters. Okay. We also know that they're hurt, right? And we know that they're hurt by looking at some of the details that the illustrator did, right? Added some band-aids, made the E with a stub toe, and they used very interesting words to add details to the writing, okay? Details are an important thing. They make stories more interesting, and they use details in drawings to make them more interesting. Like, look at the details on this page that the author and the illustrator did. Jay and Kara about to cry, and the illustrator made the tears. So details are very important in a story, okay? When we start to write in our journals in the next couple of weeks, you'll want to remember to add key details like that to your work, all right? Okay. So the other thing that I have on my chart is why add words for details. Sometimes authors use really cool words to make their story sound more interesting and make it a little bit more fun for the reader, okay? And there's some words on here that I have. I have knotted, tangled, and stoop, and I want to talk about that a little bit. In this page, it says, for the word knotted, L is knotted like a tie. So what does that word mean, knotted? Knotted. I know when I think of the word knotted, it makes me think of my shoes because I gotta tie my shoes and put a knot in it. So knotted means like to tie something and make it tighter, right? Like shoelaces. Another word on my chart is tangled. What does tangled mean? There's a Disney movie I think called Tangled, and this page says H is tangled up with I. So tangled, look, they're stuck together. So the word tangled means to be like like tangled up. It's stuck together. All right. Okay. Sometimes if you have long hair, it might get tangled. I remember my daughter, when she was little, she would go to bed with her hair wet sometimes, and it would get all knotted and tangled up. And those words kind of go together, knotted and tangled. The other word I want to talk about is, from my chart, is stooped. Stooped might be a new word that you never heard before. So let's talk about what stooped means. Stooped means to bend down, okay? And it says on this one, N is stooped. So they use the interesting word stoop to describe the N, and you can see it's sort of bent over. It's stooped. Maybe in this book you might think that the tree becomes stooped right before all the letters fall out, like this. That tree is stooped, it's bent over, all right? So, details. Details using words, details in pictures. That's how authors and illustrators make their books more interesting. Today I have 2 activities for you to complete. One of them is, what did you notice? Drawing with details. I want you to draw a picture to show what you noticed in the story Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. Be sure to add details to your drawing. Okay, if you draw the coconut tree, make sure you add the details of the coconuts, all right? If you're going to do some of the letters together, make sure you draw an uppercase and a lowercase letter together, all right? And details using words. Why add words for details? These are some interesting words that the author used. Knotted, tangled, and stooped. And you want to match the words to the pictures. You can either draw a line or you could write the words in the boxes, all right? So I hope you understand a little bit better how authors and illustrators use details by using words and adding details with their pictures to make a book more interesting. That's all for today. When you finish your assignments and your response activities, please post them on Seesaw for me to review.